Hello everybody, welcome back to Tropical Update number 47 on Category 1 Hurricane Ida and the three other areas of interest and invest throughout the Atlantic. We'll spend the majority of this video and the beginning of it on Ida, where hurricane warnings in effect for part of Cuba and Louisiana, tropical storm warnings in effect for the same areas as well as Mississippi, and tropical storm watch even in effect for parts of Alabama. Storm surge watches and warnings are also in effect due to Ida. We'll talk about those in the storm surge section of this video. Let's begin first with how Ida is doing at large. It made landfall earlier today on both the Isle of Youth and in Cuba. Had really good satellite presentation, was able to make it a hurricane well before we expected it to. Already underwent one phase of rapid intensification. Of course, the next one planned for tomorrow, with the amount of heat content ahead of Ida. Ida really getting that look to it. We can see the outflow, anticyclonic outflow from the cyclone. And then, of course, the cyclone itself just looking like a hurricane does on satellite. Then, of course, that eye we'll probably see pop out tomorrow. Again, that hurricane warning for western Cuba, the Isle of Youth, from Intracoastal City, Louisiana to the mouth of the Pearl River, including Lake Pontchartrain, Lake Maurepas, and Metropolitan, New Orleans. Tropical storm warning for West-central Cuba, and again from Cameron, Louisiana to Intracoastal City, Louisiana, from the mouth of the Pearl River to the Mississippi-Alabama border. Hurricane watch for those same areas in the United States, and a tropical storm watch from the Mississippi and Alabama border to the Alabama-Florida border. Again, that's the entire coast of Alabama, including Mobile Bay. So again, that's kind of where we're at the moment in terms of tropical storm and hurricane watches and warnings. We'll have another update at 11 o'clock from the Hurricane Center. Again, the winds with Ida expected to increase significantly throughout the day tomorrow. As we see here, tropical storm force winds all but expected for almost all of Louisiana. And I guess not all but expected, but you know what I mean. It's guaranteed for the area. Southeastern is what we were looking for. Louisiana going to get tropical storm force winds for sure, and perhaps even stronger. Again, those winds arriving Sunday morning. Now is the time. If you have not evacuated yet, now is the time. Louisiana, New Orleans does have evacuations in place, mandatory for outside of New Orleans, voluntary inside of the levee system of New Orleans. Now, the National Hurricane Center has said that local levees may fail for this storm. Of course, that does not include the main levees that protect New Orleans, but some of the local levees may fail. Again, heed those evacuation orders from local authorities if you do have them, and take them with the greatest degree of precaution. And I would say, if I were in southeastern Louisiana, I would have left last night and leave now or never. I just saw a tweet before I started this video that said they would have implemented contraflow, but it's too late, which I saw it because another meteorologist quote tweeted that tweet and said that this storm has been the most well forecast. I mean, we've known since this was even a tropical cyclone, since this was before even it was an invest, we knew that this storm was going to be a high-end hurricane impacting the United States Gulf Coast. And once it became a tropical depression, we knew it was probably going to be Louisiana in the smack dab middle. So they had more than enough time to get plans ready for this storm. And I really think it could come back to bite them in the butt because they took too long. And that's really going to be unfortunate. So again, if you're there, get out now. Category 4 hurricane, 15-foot storm surge, 2 feet of rain. This is not a joke. Unfortunately, it's falling a little over a year since Laura and 16 years to the day since Katrina. But this storm is not a joke. This is not something we want to mess around with. We can hope and pray it doesn't get as bad as it's expected to, but there's a decent chance it's going to be bad. Very, very bad. 8 to 16 inches, isolated 20 for rain in southeastern Louisiana, coastal Mississippi, and coastal Alabama. 8 to 12 isolated 20 down in the Caribbean areas affected by Ida. and then 6 to 10 isolated to 15 for Jamaica, 4 to 8 as we head into the Tennessee Valley with Ida. Again, the heaviest rainfall is near New Orleans, and the heaviest storm surge is also in that area. Storm surge warnings in effect from Rockefeller Wildlife Refuge over to the Mississippi-Alabama border. Storm surge watches, rather, in effect for areas outside of that as it stands right now. As we can see, 10 to 15 feet from Morgan City to the mouth of the Mississippi, 7 to 11 from the mouth of the Mississippi to Ocean Springs, and then still significant storm surge within those warned areas, 4 to 7 feet even within Lake Pontchartrain, 3 to 5 for Lake Maurepas. Remember, again, the levees are not supposed to fail. They were built so that they don't fail, but that they said that during Katrina too. I believe that it's better. I don't believe this is Katrina level storm surge, but it is going to be significant storm surge. And, there's the outside chance that our technology and everything we know doesn't work. And this is really a nightmarish scenario. And, we can just hope and pray it goes a little bit wide of New Orleans. That would help the city out a lot. For this to hit somewhere closer, a landfall point closer to Morgan City or Intracoastal City, rather than between Morgan City and the mouth of the Mississippi, as it's starting to look like, which would be devastating on many accounts. Storm surge even possible outside of where we're talking about here in the United States. As we see from the spaghetti models, the most likely landfall point is in fact in between whatever the two city between Intracoastal City and the mouth of the Mississippi, almost smack dab in between. Of course, we know the heaviest rainfall is going to be on that northeastern side of the storm, and that's where New Orleans is. It's really just not good news, no matter how you put it. And again, we take a look at the intensity guidance. That Cat 4, supported by a majority of the models at this point. Cat 5 is not out of the question. Cat 3 is basically certain at this point, given the road ahead of Ida. It's just really unfortunate, is what this storm is. And as we see here, the GFS does not say no to the possibility this swings wide and avoids devastating the southeastern Louisiana area. And but the European over on the right hand side, it's a tick over to the right, but or a tick over to the left, but it's not far enough over to the left to really take New Orleans away from the brunt of this storm. Again, let's take a look at the H-Wharf model, bringing in a very strong hurricane. Thankfully, this model swings it wide of New Orleans and southeastern Louisiana from getting absolutely pummeled by it. But like I've said, and I think you can tell by the sound of my voice, this is just unfortunate. And we like, us weather people, we like to track big storms. They're fun, especially ones easier to forecast like Ida has been. But when it comes to human life, all of us know that's not something we want to mess with. When it falls on the anniversary of arguably the most devastating hurricane in history, that makes it even worse. It makes it worse for us, makes it worse for the people there. And again, I don't want to draw a comparison to Katrina with this storm, but it's inevitably going to be made because of the timing, because of the intensity. It's just something that will go down in history, and we're watching it unfold. We have 2 days till tropical storm force winds begin along the Gulf Coast, so there's still some time, but again, it's getting there, and all indications are, like I've said for the past several days, that this will not be good. So that's all for Ida. Again, subscribe, hit the like button, all that fun stuff to keep the video getting out to people. This will help save lives, hopefully, and keep people informed to be able to call their family members and know know what they need to do. As we see, we also got 3 areas to watch, so all this sad news can't stop us from talking. As we see here, Invest 97L with winds of 25 miles an hour with a 40-60 chance from the National Hurricane Center as of 8 p.m. is what that should say. Model support not overwhelming with this, but alas, here we are. Same deal with 98L. It should say 8 p.m., but it is what it is. As we see on this screen, 80% chance of formation within the next 48 hours and 5 days. Model support, again, nothing too crazy, not even tropical storm on hardly any of the dynamical models, but that's kind of how it is. We are also watching an area of interest off the African coast. I believe 30% chance of formation within the next 5 days. Strong model support from the European and strong model support overall with this storm. So again, something we're certainly want to keep our eye on over the next few days. Again, guys, pray for the people in Louisiana. If you know family down there, especially southeastern Louisiana, make sure they know what's going on. Even southern Mississippi certainly needs to be paying very close attention to this storm. I'll have probably multiple updates again out tomorrow and Sunday as we approach the unfortunate landfall of what is now Category 1 Hurricane Ida, which I didn't update at the top of this screen either. There's a lot going on in case you didn't know. So I apologize, but that's kind of where we're at the moment. Again, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys next time. Chris 6 and Info with our Catholic Media.